Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 2nd of December 2019 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. And I'm just going to say it. Tonight's Monday Night Raw was not that good of a show. I didn't think tonight's show was all that good at all, really. Most of the stuff I was bored with. We had some good action in the ring, but most of it, like I said, was kind of boring. It was just there. Stuff happened, and if you missed it, listen to my review, and I'll tell you everything you missed, and there'd be no reason for you to go back and watch it. There's literally nothing on this show from tonight where I would say, hey, this was cool, go back and check it out. Or this was an interesting angle. Why don't you go check it out? I'm not even gonna say, hey, why not go check it out on their YouTube? Just listen to my review and you'll know everything that happened, and you don't gotta go back and watch it on TV, on your DVR, on YouTube, whatever. It was just that bad of a show. Very, very boring, to be completely honest. But with that, let's see who's here with us in the live chat before we do get going. Letting some more of you guys join in before we start talking about the show. We do got Jack Dawson, Derek Bocek, Henry McKenna-Cavallo, Vash Starwind, Blue Fire Venom. We got Ben Michael or Mitchell. Hope I said that right. I'm not exactly sure. Nelson, Gail Elizalad. I probably butchered your last name. Elizalad. Okay. I hope I said that right. Probably didn't, but we've got T-Life as well. So, tonight's Raw. Like I said, I thought the show was boring, average at best. I'll say it right now, if I have to give it a rating of 5, is being generous. I'd maybe go a 4.5. Maybe I'd go 5. I say that's generous, but there was some good wrestling that can warrant a 5. So the show started with Charlie Caruso waiting in the parking lot as a black SUV pulled up. Out would come the AOP, and Charlie Caruso approached them asking why they attacked Kevin Owens backstage. They responded in Albanian and Punjabi, but Caruso said, I don't speak Albanian and Punjabi. Can you please translate into English? And Razor told her that she looked very pretty tonight, and they walked off. Caruso seemed like she didn't like their response. We learned that we got Vic Joseph, Jerry Lawler, and Samoa Joe on commentary tonight. Samoa Joe's just wonderful on commentary. That was a bright point of the show. So Seth Rollins opened up the show just like he did last week, but this time he was by himself and heavily booed from the crowd. Rollins said his comments last week came from a good place, and he just wanted to do the best he could for everybody here on Raw. Rollins admitted that he may have gone overboard, and he apologized. And for some reason, Jerry Lawler kept saying before this, Seth better not apologize. I keep hearing that Seth's going to apologize. He better not. And Vic Joseph was like, why don't you want him to apologize, King? And I didn't hear him give a good answer as to why. I think he said something like, Raw didn't do well. Why does he need to apologize? Or something like that. So, he says that he apologized to the fans, the locker room, and specifically Kevin Owens, and invited Owens to come out to the ring, as he did. Nelson says, where's Dio Madden? Still selling that F5 through the table from Brock Lesnar. Owens wondered if the fans smelled what he smelled. He said it smells like when the rodeo comes to Nashville. He said that he didn't buy Rollins calling the roster and everybody his family. He wondered if his only real family in the back were the AOP. Rollins said that he had no clue AOP were coming out. He had nothing to do with AOP and their actions last week. And Owens clarified what he meant earlier. He said, that smell I was referring to, it's bullshit. And Samoa Joe goes, I smell it too. AOP came out on the stage. They said a bunch of stuff in either Punjabi or Albanian. I don't know what language it was. Joe's like, I get this. Yep, they're right. And I think it was King goes, well, Joe, if you know what they're saying, can you translate? And Joe was just like, that was a good challenge or something like that. And Seth and Kevin knew what they were saying. They were just like, Seth was just like, well, I'll accept if Kev does. And Owens is like, I'm not dumb. I know this is going to end one of three ways. And all of them end with the three of you beating my ass. And so he was just like, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to fall for your trap. And Owens stood there. And finally, Seth Rollins would leave and was just like, if that's how you feel, then bye. You don't trust me, I'm going to leave. And LP just allowed Rollins to leave, no problem. Owens then challenged AOP to a fight, but they backed off. Owens said, you know what? I'm here. I'm in the ring. I got my gear on. I'm taped up. Challenge anybody in the back. And right as they were getting ready to go to break, they showed Bobby Lashley and Lana walking in the back. So they go, oh, maybe Bobby Lashley and Lana can take on the challenge. And we go to commercial, and Owens has to sit in the ring or stand in the ring for like 3.5 minutes during this commercial break. And then when they come back, he's still like, man, is anybody going to come out here? Who's going to come out here? Is anyone going to come out here? Like thinking that because he didn't have the mic anymore. And Lana's music would hit, and this was just some of the worst, worst. So she came out and sort of just started posing while her music was playing. And Owens said that this is boring him out of his mind. Lana said Raw was all about her. And then a very annoyed Owens interrupted. He said that he was vomiting in his mouth as she tried to continue talking. Lana tried to tell the fans that they won't get to see Rusev tonight because she got another restraining order here in the state of Tennessee. Owens said that he's never heard somebody talk so much and say so little. He said she might think she's beautiful on the outside, but she's repulsive on the inside. Lana then made a bunch of fat jokes talking about how Owens eats too much candy and burgers and stuff. And then Lana warned him that Lashley would finish him. And Owens said that he's ready. So Lashley and Lana came down to the ring. They were accompanied by what they called 2 police officers. They were in suits, and they stood at ringside. They were there to, I guess you could say, guard Lana and Lashley from Rusev. Well, that went really, really well. So Lashley hit a spine buster early on Owens, but Owens came back with a frog splash from the apron to the outside as they went to break. Immediately after the break, Owens hit a cannonball for a 2. Lashley avoided a moonsault and followed with a clothesline. Owens came back later with a super kick, but Lashley responded with a swinging neck breaker and a dominator for 2. Owens avoided a full Nelson and hit a pop-up powerbomb. AOP then marched out to the ring. Owens would attack them, and the referee would call for a DQ as they attacked him and beat him up. Crowd started chanting for Rusev. AOP slammed Owens against the barricade and on the ramp. They then dragged him to the back as we went to break. So Bobby Lashley and Lana literally just, like Owens had to do during the last break, just stand there in the ring and wait. So after the break, well, actually, they were outside the ring. No, they got outside the ring after, my bad. So after the break, anyways, Charlie Caruso came down to interview Lana and Lashley. Lashley said that he was about to beat Owens before AOP showed up, and he had no clue this was happening. He has no relationship with them. He didn't call for them, none of that. Lana said that she was upset that people were booing them and talked about hiring detectives because of Rusev. As she spoke, you could see a spotlight in the crowd, like just going around like a maze. And your first thought is, of course, oh yeah, here comes Rusev. And of course, Rusev jumps the barricade, gets in the ring, lays out Bobby Lashley. Lana's freaking out. The detectives kind of get in the ring. Then they get out of the ring. Rusev runs off. That was it. Sorta. So they all get out of the ring. And Bobby Lashley and Lana get in the quote-unquote detectives' faces. And they're like, what was that all about? Rusev violated his restraining order. He shouldn't be here. Arrest him. Why are you going to just let him leave? And they were basically like, well, we do things different here in the state of Tennessee. And Lashley got in one of their faces. And then Lashley goes to walk off. And to me, it looked like he didn't do anything but maybe step on this detective's toe. I was told on Twitter that he shoulder checked him or whatever. I didn't notice that. And as he walks off, the detective grabs Bobby Lashley, spins him around, and gets in his face. And then they go to arrest Bobby Lashley, put him in cuffs. As they go to take him away, Lana got in the officer's face and slapped him. This then led to Lana being placed in cuffs as well and taken away. Crowd was actually really, really into this. Lana and Lashley were then shown after a break being taken away in a black police car. Lana threatened to sue. The Street Profits and R-Truth were nearby and seemed moderately amused by all of this. Joe Decker says it was a shoulder. Okay, I didn't notice the shoulder. I thought maybe he just stepped on his foot. So we then got a pretty actually interesting 4-minute match. It was Drew McIntyre versus Akira Tozawa. This was a match that I never knew that I wanted until I actually saw it. McIntyre easily slammed Tozawa. And then got on his knees and Jerry Lawler made a joke saying, hey, look, he's still taller than Tozawa on his knees. McIntyre told him to leave or else. Tozawa teased leaving and then gave him a drop kick and a suicide headbutt. However, McIntyre would catch him and gave him an inverted Alabama slam on the mats. McIntyre then followed this up with a huge hard chop and an overhead suplex, belly to belly, that literally he threw Tozawa from one corner. He was literally any closer to the turnbuckle and they wouldn't have been able to pull off this move. Tozawa was thrown from one corner all the way across the ring to the other diagonally. Just a great visual. So I said that there was nothing you should go back and check from this show. I digress. This German suplex, if you can find a gif of it or something, it was something to be seen. The way Tozawa just flew all the way across the ring. McIntyre then kind of just stood around for a minute, and Tozawa came back with a low dropkick, enziguri, and a missile dropkick. Tozawa countered an Alabama slam into a roll-up, but McIntyre then obliterated this guy, literally flipped him inside out twice with a Claymore kick. It's probably one of the best bumps off a Claymore kick ever. Crowd enjoyed the hell out of this 4-minute match. I did as well, and McIntyre picked up the victory. After the match, McIntyre said that people in the back go straight on social media when they have a complaint, when they have an issue. He said a lot of them like to be really cryptic about it. So guess what they're talking about? Because he said, guess what I'm talking about? A bunch of bloody cowards. McIntyre would then be more direct and call out Randy Orton because he says he has a problem with Randy Orton. Then they went to break. After the break, still no Orton. McIntyre standing in the ring. A lot of making the guys stand around in the ring doing nothing during commercials. McIntyre then said, show the footage. And they showed footage of why he had a problem with Orton. It was a clip from last week of Orton poking him in the eye after taking a chop in the Fatal 4-Way match. Orton finally came out. He says he couldn't believe this was why McIntyre was upset and called him out. He was about to leave, but McIntyre yelled at him, telling him not to turn his back on him. McIntyre's real problem was that Orton walked away and acts like he owns the place. He knew that Orton was a future Hall of Famer, but that didn't give Orton the right to speak to him like he's a child. McIntyre said that Orton might be the most ferocious man in the past, but now he was only the most ferocious man on social media. Today, the most ferocious man in WWE is himself, Drew McIntyre. He spoke slowly so the people in Nashville, he said just like that, could understand him. And he let everybody know that Orton was the past and he was the present. Orton said that he's earned the right to do whatever he wants here, whereas McIntyre Hasn't earned a damn thing. Orton thought that they could be cool, but McIntyre still has a problem. They couldn't settle it now. Maybe they should go face to face, but then they were interrupted by the OC. AJ came out and was pissed off, so pissed off at Randy Orton that he couldn't even speak. So Luke Gallows spoke for him, calling Orton an unapologetic jerk. Carl Anderson said that Orton ruined Uncle Allen's life by costing him the U.S. title. Anderson said that Styles was handsome and charismatic. Then he asked if he was okay. AJ responded, "No, I'm not okay, Carl." Styles wanted Orton tonight. So Styles was more upset that Orton cost him the title than wanting to get the title back. I get it and I don't get it at the same time. Before Orton could respond, McIntyre said that this was a problem that Orton and AJ were having and maybe he should just leave it. And he did. So the OC surrounded Orton. Orton tried to attack, but they swarmed him. Ricochet would then run down to try to make the save, but 2-on-3, still not good. Humberto Carrillo came out with new music, tried to also stop them, but again, even though it was 3-on-3, still no good. Finally, the new U.S. champion Rey Mysterio would successfully run down and make the save. Mysterio, Ricochet, and Carrillo would then stand tall as Orton just looked on from the outside. So, my notes are kind of messed up here. Hold on one second, guys. Anyways, so they showed Kyle Busch, the 2019 Monster Energy NASCAR champion, and Michael Waltrip, former two-time Daytona 500 winner, at ringside. They come into play later. In the back, Mysterio, flanked by Ricochet and Carrillo, asked Orton if he was okay. Orton said he appreciated the assistance, but he didn't need it, and Orton walked off. We then got a 3.5-minute match between Alistair Black and Tony Nese. Nese got some offense, but Black won quickly with strikes and a black mass. Charlie Caruso asked Buddy Murphy if he regretted knocking on Black's door. Murphy wanted to expose Black as a man who takes himself way too serious. Murphy called himself calm, cool, and collected. And the difference between him and Black is that Black is a hothead. He suggested that Black calm down, and if he didn't want to, Murphy would make him do it himself. He would do it for him. So before we keep going on, we got some text messages here to read. This one here, I'm not going to read that yet because it talks about a main event. Don't want to get ahead of us. This person says, "Bro, what was wrong with Monday Night Raw? How do y'all feel about it? It got so boring." Yeah, I said it too. Felt like this was a very boring show. This person says crowd was into Rusev because he actually lives in Tennessee. He doesn't just live in Tennessee. He lives in Nashville. But here's the thing. He may live in Nashville, be a huge Preds fan. But how many... Now, I'm not going to speak for the people of Tennessee, but how many people actually know that Rusev lives in Tennessee, lives in Nashville specifically? I mean, if you're a Predators fan, you probably do because he goes to as many home games as he can. And if you go to Preds games, you'll probably see him there. But how many people really know that Rusev lives in Nashville? That's the question. So going forward, we got Andrade versus Eric Young in a 4.5 match that felt longer than 4.5 minutes. Joe put over Eric Young as one of the most dangerous men that he's ever been in the ring with. Young nailed a flying elbow for a 2. Then Andrade yanked him from the top and hit a running kick for 2. Young used a jawbreaker, but Andrade caught him with a boot. Young then hit a neck breaker for a near fall. Young went to the top again, and Andrade again dropped him to the mat. Andrade followed this up with double knee strikes in the corner and a hammerlock DDT for the pin. They did let us know on commentary that Eric Young is from Nashville. So, of course, The guy gets a match on TV, a guy that's never really seen on TV, but that's only because Vince likes to beat people in their hometown. So it's like, no, T-Life. He says, I live in Nashville and didn't know that. Talk about Rusev living in Nashville. Yeah, see? But Eric Young lives in Nashville, so that's why Vince put him on TV, because he's a hometown boy. But at the same time, hometown boy, you get beat in your hometown if you're in WWE. So after the match, Truth was chased to the ringside by just randos. I don't even remember exactly who it was. Truth then ran over to where Kyle Busch and Michael Waltrip were. He ran in front of where they were sitting and ducked behind the barricade. As the different wrestlers that were chasing him ran up, Kyle Busch was like, oh, he kept going. He went that way. He went that way. They all ran off, and Truth stood up and thanked them for their help and said, hey, come with me. And so Kyle Busch starts walking to ringside, or around ringside. Michael Waltrip walks a couple steps and stops, and Truth's like, let's go, come on. Michael Waltrip stops. And if you don't know who Michael Waltrip is one of the most charismatic guys you could ever find. Like, he is just charismatic as all hell. Michael Waltrip's standing there, and he slowly unzips his windbreaker, revealing that he's wearing a referee's shirt. At this time, Kyle Busch comes up from behind, rolls up R-Truth, and pins R-Truth to become the 24/7 champion. They then left through the stage, went to the backstage area, and Truth marched off after them. Now, I believe, if I saw this correctly, on WWE's Instagram, they did show R-Truth getting the belt back. I'm going to double check this really fast, but I'm pretty sure Truth did win the belt back before the show was over. Let me double check this really fast. Instagram. Just checking here. So Kyle Busch was taking photos with the belt. He was on his own Instagram with Michael Waltrip. They're doing the actual, professional WWE photo shoot when R-Truth would come, attack Kyle Busch, and pin him. So yeah, Truth did get his belt back. Truth, once again, is 24/7, 7-Eleven, European champion. The Street Profit plug WWE merch with the help from No Way Jose. Felt very, very scripted. So then Rollins appeared to be leaving the arena when Charlie Caruso approached him. There was about an hour and a half left in the show when this happened. Jason Dalton said they should give him the belt and let him take it to all the NASCAR races. Well, that'd be cool if the season didn't end a month ago. NASCAR season ended a month ago. The reason they were in Nashville is because this week is Champions Week for NASCAR. They're actually holding the championship awards banquet ceremony thing. They call it the NASCAR Championship Awards Banquet, where they honor the champion and the top 10 in the rankings for the year. That's being held in Nashville this year, so that's why they were in town. Anyways, Charlie Caruso approached Seth, and Rollins said that Owens didn't want his help earlier. Caruso asked him about people questioning his sincerity and his apology. Rollins said that he was annoyed by that. He felt like he was in a no-win situation and wondered what people wanted from him. He said everyone was cryptic, but not everyone had the confidence to be a leader. So remember last week when everyone was like, Seth turned heel. And I was like, it might be a heel turn. He didn't do one, just anything heel tonight. So to me, it's like, is Seth the heel or is Seth the babyface? What's going on? Jason Dalton, you say you're talking about having him take the belt for next season. Next season don't start till February. They ain't going to put that title on ice for 3 months. So they then aired a video package for Mysterio's big win last week. And then Eric Rowan spoke to his cage. Still don't know what's inside, but he kept calling himself Daddy and saying that whatever's in the cage was looking right back at him or something along those lines. So then Eric Rowan came out and defeated No Way Jose in about 2 minutes. Some guys from the Congo line got too close to Rowan's cage, So Rowan knocked him over. He chased them all away, and then Rowan won after a claw slam. Cool. Asuka and Kairi Sane were shown warming up for their handicap match later. Sarah Schreiber then asked Rowan, "What's in the cage?" He initially ignored her. He then got upset when she kept asking. He walked away. Cool. Charlotte came down to the ring for a handicap match. And then they send it to a interview backstage. Charlie Caruso interviewing Asuka and Kairi Sane. And Asuka just starts yelling in Japanese. Don't know what she's saying other than I think there was a line where she was just like, "I'm going to beat you," or "We'll beat you," or something. It was weird. It seemed very charismatic, like Asuka is. And it was funny because Lawler goes, "So, Joe, you spent time in Japan. What did she say? Can you translate?" He really didn't. He's like, "I think I heard her say one thing." So then we got a 15, almost 16-minute match. Asuka and Kairi Sane taking on Charlotte Flair in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Asuka and Sane attacked Charlotte before the match. Referees separated them before starting the match officially. Asuka and Sane were in control until Charlotte dodged a hip attack, and Asuka hit Sane by accident. Charlotte then took them both out with a dive. After a break, the champs were back in control. Charlotte tried to boot, but Asuka caught her and hit her with a German. Charlotte booted Sane off the top and knocked down Asuka. She set them up for a moonsault, but they both got their knees up at the same time. Sane went for Charlotte, but Charlotte put her in the Boston Crab. Asuka knocked Charlotte down with a kick to the head and then hit a missile dropkick for a 2. Charlotte blocked another dropkick attempt and went for the figure 8, but Asuka countered. Charlotte blocked her submission attempt in a deadlift powerbomb, but Sane attacked Charlotte to break up the cover. Charlotte tried to superplex. She tried to superplex both opponents. They dropped her face first onto the mat. Looked like she landed a little awkwardly. Sane followed this up with a double foot stomp. Only got a 2 off of that. Asuka and Sane tried a combo strike, but Charlotte just sort of moved out of the way. She then speared both women at the same time, only got a near fall on Asuka. Charlotte booted Asuka, but Sane made a blind tag. Charlotte didn't see it, so she put Asuka in the figure 8. Sane then nailed Charlotte with an insane elbow off the top as she still had the figure 8 locked in, and Sane pinned her. Sane was very happy. I thought the match was okay. Clunky in spots, but not too bad. Like I said, a little messy. But hey, what do you expect? Sarah Schreiber then asked Charlotte Flair if she regretted challenging both Asuka and Sane tonight. She said no and kept on walking off. So then the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, quick minute and a half squash against 2 guys. I think their names were Mark Sterling and I have here Mitchell Lyons, something like that. Viking Raiders won really quick with the Viking experience. Cool. I think there was a group of fans actually chanting "No more squashes." Ricochet, Carrillo, Mysterio cut a promo directly into the camera at the OC. Actually kind of cool. Mysterio's fine. I thought it was all right. OC then cut a quick promo before their match in the back. They said they're still pissed off at Randy Orton. And they look forward to being able to beat up their opponents tonight, but they'll be thinking of Randy. Because they are the official. What is it? They are the official, the only, I don't remember all 3 of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They're the club. The only club that matters. So early on, the OC worked over Carrillo until he made a hot tag. Gallows took a 619 around the post. Mysterio went for a 619 on Styles, but Anderson caught him and chucked him into the post. OC worked over Mysterio after the break. Ricochet made a hot tag and went for Styles with a clothesline, Hurricane Rana, flying clothesline, standing shooting star press. All that, only got a 2. Styles kicked out of a roll-up. Anderson gave Ricochet an uppercut. Then Styles hit a facebuster for a 2. Ricochet hit a recoil because they can't call it a code breaker. But it's kind of different because he only uses one knee. But Anderson broke up the cover. Mysterio gave Anderson a 619. Gallows booted Anderson. Then Carrillo took out Gallows with a dive. Ricochet countered a Styles clash into a roll-up for a 2. Styles gave him a Pele kick. Ricochet fought back on Styles. Then took out Anderson with a moonsault off the apron. Ricochet went for Styles, but Styles caught him and gave him a Styles clash off the middle rope for the victory. I thought this was actually a pretty good match. Like I said earlier, there was some good action on the show, and it was in this match. All of these guys worked well together. Great action. Everything in this match was solid. And then at the end, as the OC was about to celebrate, or at least Styles, Orton would slide in and give him an RKO. Orton then posed, barely got up on the turnbuckle before the show just ended. It looked like they were running low on time. But that was Raw. This person here in the text message says, what match could AJ have at TLC? AJ Orton. Probably just a singles match. I don't see them needing a stipulation. But you know, what else doesn't need a stipulation? It's Combate Americas. More specifically, it's Tito Ortiz versus Alberto El Patron. And that fight is going down this weekend, Saturday, December 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It is the former UFC light heavyweight champion, the UFC Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz, taking on the former WWE champion Alberto El Patron. This will be Tito Ortiz's first fight in a little over a year. This will be El Patron's first fight in, I want to say, almost a decade, and it all goes down this weekend. You can order the fight on Fight TV, and if you do so with a link in the description or by using bit.ly/Tito Alberto, you will also get a $3 Fight TV credit that you can use towards your next purchase. Again, Tito versus Alberto for Combate Americas does take place this Saturday night, and it should be a pretty interesting fight if I do say so myself, as like I said, Alberto hasn't fought in a decade. And Tito's coming off of, he looked okay, but a match where Chuck Liddell, his opponent, just didn't look good. And Tito really just couldn't really do much with an opponent that didn't really do much back. So, hey, we'll see how it all does go down. It's a former UFC champion versus a former WWE champion this Saturday. Use our link to support us and to order it on Fight. But with that, I do want to say thank you to everybody who did join me here tonight to talk about Monday Night Raw. Everybody who watched later right here on YouTube and listened on podcast services all around the world. We got one final text message here. This person says 2 questions. 1, what match at TLC could you see if Randy and AJ have? Like I said, I already stated that. I'd probably do a regular singles match. And this person says, what do you think's in the crate? I have no godly idea what's in Rowan's crate. Joe Decker says, didn't they show someone driving away in a car? The only car I saw driving away was when Lana and Rusev were put in the police car. Did I miss something? Let me go on WWE's Twitter and see if I missed something. Because I didn't see anything as far as another car driving away. Like I said, the only cars I saw was when the OC showed up, the AOP, and then when Lana and Lashley were being arrested. I'm going to go through WWE's Twitter really fast to see if they showed anything on another car leaving, but I don't see anything. Looking. Kabuki Warriors. Oh, also, Seth Rollins will get to again try to tell the truth, to speak about, his apology and whatnot tomorrow on WWE Backstage with Renee Young and Booker T. No mention of CM Punk, so it sounds like Punk, again, will not be on the show. I'm not seeing anything about a car driving off, so I didn't see it. yeah, like I said, the only time I saw a car tonight was when Lana and Lashley were being arrested and when AOP showed up. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight. Should be back tomorrow for the PW Unlimited podcast. I know Nick was under the weather today, so we'll play that tentatively. And we'll go from there. Have a good night, guys. And we'll see you, hopefully, tomorrow night. Same time, same place, the PW Unlimited podcast.